Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking with us through that break. We have a few people that joined us a little bit through that session. So just before we jump into the action again, I just want to run through a couple of the main announcements that we covered at the start of the session. So if you haven't already, if you head over to dicebythesword.com and head over to our merch store, you will find this t-shirt, which is exclusively designed by Luke. And we have launched this as a limited edition piece of merch. So if you do want to support the channel, you also want to buy yourself a cool as fuck t-shirt, then head over to the Dice by the Sword merch store and you can pick one up. It is only going to be available for the next few weeks. We are going to run it as a limited edition piece of merch. So if you do want to get your hands on it, head over there and you can pick one up. Another thing that we are also doing at the moment is we're running a social media giveaway on our Instagram page. So again, after the stream, head over to Instagram, or if you can do both, watch us and go on Insta, then head over there and you'll see a post that we've put about Cat's Grace. Now, Cat's Grace are a dice merchant in... merchant, you see, keeping with the fantasy vibes. A dice merchant who are based in Scotland, and they were kind enough to collaborate with us on a social media giveaway. All the instructions are on there. It's really easy. You just have to follow us on Insta, follow Cat's Grace, comment with a friend on the post, and then share it on your feed. Really, really simple. Essentially, what we're trying to do is get as many eyes over to Dice by the Sword's page on Insta as we can, but you're also, by doing that, you're in with a chance to win some cool goodies, which include a t-shirt from the merch store of your choice. There are some dice that have been gifted from Cat's Grace, so there's some metal dice, there's also some mystery bags and things on there, so head over to the Instagram page and you can check that out as well. So, without further ado, before we do dive back to the rest of the players, because they can't hear you can't hear them, and they can't see you unless they're tuning in. From me personally, I just want to say thank you to each and every person that has joined us tonight. As you know, we've tried to launch this campaign twice already. So not yesterday and the Sunday before, we've had a lot of technical difficulties. But the lesson to take from that is that nothing will defeat Dice by the Sword. Nothing. We have spent hours and hours and hours working on all the tech stuff and at the back end. We have been trying to get this as polished and as good as we can get it for you guys. So just from me personally, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We hope to stick with us through this crazy campaign that we've got planned. But we appreciate you, so thank you very much. So let's get back into the action. And in 3, 2, 1, we have our players back.
Hey.
So now we can put the tense music back on because this tense moment. Oh god, shit, it's not that tense.
oh god, what's happening?
Cool. You guys find yourself at the precipice of the hole in the wall that Kaelin has created. You find yourself gathered together, bonded through combat as you step through. And beyond that rubble lies a narrow fissure in the wall, just wide enough to squeeze through. As you all begin to do so, on the other side, you see a series of naturally formed tunnels that stretch out before you. Their walls lined with the veins of these glowing crystals that pulse faintly with an otherworldly light. The air here is cooler and fresher, carrying that faint metallic tang still, but it is lessened somewhat. Kaelin himself steadies himself on the wall, his breathing labored, but his determination unwavering. This is it. His voice filled with a mix of relief and urgency. The heart of the mountain. These tunnels will lead us out, but we need to move quickly. If Barrick finds out what we've done, he won't hesitate but to send more men after us. Let's go. The tunnels themselves stretch into the unknown, their glowing walls casting eerie shadows that seem to beckon you all forward. Behind you, The sound of distant shouts and clattering armor grows faint, but ever present. A reminder of the ever-present danger that you've left behind. The air inside the tunnels itself is cool but damp, sharp contrast to the choking heat of the quarry above. You begin to walk these tunnels. As you get through the other side of the wall, Halen striking at the wall to collapse the entrance to this area. Though it doesn't look completely concealed, it is markedly better than it was. You begin to navigate the tunnel. You travel for 10, 15 minutes until the hairs on the back of your neck begin to settle. The race of your beating heart begins to fade. Freedom is ahead of you. Chains and servitude behind. What would you like to do?
I imagine Ulrich would have taken somewhat of a leading presence behind Kaelin as they walk, and just kind of being the big figure that everyone can watch as we traverse the tunnels, and sort of trying to keep that symbol of, something to watch as we go. He's very much sort of sensing, trying to kind of get a bearing of where we are in the walls and the interior. He's lived near mountains and around them and in them, but not been so deep down. So it's kind of every so often he'll feel a wall, try and gauge if it's sort of up or down, that kind of thing. Just got a mental map in his head as he goes.
Okay. Yes, for those of you at home, Harry has brought her familiar.
Cat attack.
Ulrich, can you make me a survival check, please?
Survival check.
Yes, please. While Ulrich is doing that, what would everybody else like?
Yero will be behind Ulrich, keeping pace, and again, sort of looking around, making sure that no one is being left behind, no one is stumbling or tripping over, and if they are, she's there as a steady hand to keep them going. She occasionally, not trying to be too obvious, but still wanting to keep it to herself, but to pull on a silver chain that has been secretly hidden under her clothes from her neck, and just delicately grab it up and hold what you can't really, a lot of people can't really see what's in it, but you see sort of a slight glimmer of a pale gemstone attached to this chain. You see her clasp it quite firmly to her chest and to her heart, and every now and then she will look down and quietly mumble in Aarakocran a small prayer to herself, and then will place this charm back under her clothes and look to ahead and to see when the end to the tunnel will come.
Anybody else? Would anybody else like to do anything?
Nim would like to be on her tiptoes, tracing Yeryl's steps. And Nim is really fascinated by Yeryl's wings. So she's like trying to see if there's any feathers look like they're gonna fall off, or like she's paying very, very close attention to these wings in hopes of obtaining a feather or two.
Yeryl will see this and slightly chuckle to herself, as a lot of people seem to be very interested in her wings and her feathers when they first meet her, and occasionally when she is at the corner of her eye spying Nim tiptoeing behind her and looking, she'll just ever so delicately just sort of fan her wing out to sort of show it off a little bit more, and then tuck it back in, and will fan the other one out a little bit more and tuck it back in. And when she sees what Nim is looking to do, she will extend one of her wings out and shake it a little bit so that one of her large feathers falls out. Again, not really making a big deal about it, just carrying on walking, but sort of at the corner of her eye, noticing that
Immediately.
she's dropped the treasure for Nim and will keep going.
Immediately, Nim's braiding that in her hair.
Excellent. So, Nim, you pick up this feather and just begin to like braid it and start braiding your hair. Excellent. Before I come to the rest of you, Ulrich, what did you get with your survival check?
I was only a 7.
A 7.
Ah.
Okay. Begin placing your hand on the rock and trying to find some thing in ways of like navigation things. And as you're doing that, Kalen walks over and he just kind of goes places his hand and goes, "My friend, we have some walking they get to do before your way of navigating will come into effect. We are not even at the heart of the mountain yet. We have some hours of travel before we reach the other side, at least."
How are you so sure of these things?
Well, when they brought me to that camp, they brought me on the back of a carriage and round the side of the actual mountain itself, and I mean that took the better part of a day to get round. So if we were to travel through, it's only a simple estimate, but we have some miles to walk.
Well, as long as we are able to stay together and eventually have a quick sit at some points just to allow others to catch up, we should be fine. I will make sure of it.
Yeah, well, and his voice raised a little bit as if to address you all. Well, I think it's probably best that we put some space between here and whatever is coming from behind us. But once we get some distance between us, we can rest a little bit and maybe get to know each other a little better, huh? Right, come on. And begins to march on. Korik began to tell me what you were doing.
Yeah. Korik's gonna kind of walk alongside Octavius and just say, did that god get you particularly badly back there?
What? No, I'm yeah, a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Just right in his stomach.
Okay.
I tried to be nice to him. He didn't listen that much.
Yeah, from my experience, I don't reckon that they are that accustomed to people being nice to them. And I'm just gonna place a hand on Octavius and just cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, go ahead and roll some dice for me, please.
To it.
Peanut, while these dice are being rolled, what is it the Peanut's doing at this point?
Peanut is kind of just watching. She's completely forgotten what's just happened. So she's kind of just going about her day, like la 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 la, and she's like walking, and she's seen Nim and Yarrow, and she kind of strolls up to Yarrow, like kind of skips almost up to Yarrow, and she just looks up, like really, really looks up at her. So, what are you? Are you a chicken? You're a really big chicken.
Well, I'm not unlike a chicken. This is true. I am a sibling cousin to a chicken. I'm a bit bigger. But yes, I'm like a cousin to a chicken.
Wow, you're such a cool chicken.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my god. And she goes in her little bag of bullshit and she pulls out a little stone, and around it is like, it's really gross. It's like bits of hair that she's tied into like a little bracelet, and she hands it to Yarrow. Do you want to be friends?
I would be honored to be friends, and she will take it and put it immediately on her hand. She'll then extend one of her wings round, so it's slightly around Peanut, like in a sort of arm on a shoulder, and Yarrow will pick again one of her feathers and extend back her wing and hand it to Peanut and say, I would like to be your friend a lot.
Oh my god. And she's just gonna hold it like fangirl. That's what she's doing.
What Geralt doesn't know is that with every feather she plucks from her wings, she loses 5 feet fly speed.
Yeah, so every feather I
bald
lose,
chicken.
I can't be a cleric anymore. My feathers are my power.
6 months later, Geralt, the Siamese, Aarakocra.
Bald chicken.
Excellent.
It's like rainbow fish. Oh, you know, that's the old story, rainbow
Oh
fish.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Giving away all their scales.
Giving away all my feathers.
Hell yeah. You guys begin your arduous journey through the mountain. You will be traveling for an hour or two through narrow tunnels, uneven surfaces. During that hour, is there anything anybody would particularly like to do before we kind of, for the sake of brevity, move things on?
Is it quite? Is it like pitch black? Are there the torches along the walls? What's sort of for the lighting?
So, in terms of light, apart from the torches that you have, I'm going to safely assume that you picked one of the torches up off the walls you came into this area. Beyond the faint light that the torches themselves are casting, there is a very soft light that is being emitted by the veins of crystal that we find within tunnels and in these wider areas. So it isn't pitch black, it isn't dark by any stretch, but there is much light, very low. As you are all walking, Yarrow, and you're trying to be perceptive and keep an eye on your surroundings, I'd like you to make me a perception check, please.
16.
16. Excellent. As well as these crystals giving off a faint light, you also hear that they also carry a faint hum, soft, almost melodic, and it's seemingly coming from the crystals themselves.
Are these the fragments we've picked up?
These are the crystals embedded into the walls of the
In the walls.
yeah.
Could I, still trying to keep pace with everybody, but could I go over and maybe just put my ear to it, maybe to see if by getting closer I can hear something more, or maybe if I can try and think of if it's a tune or what it's humming.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't come across as a tune. It's just more of just a humming, soft, like almost like a soft vibration, like kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it is very faint, very soft. It isn't echoing throughout the cavern. Just the further away you get from the shouting and the clamoring, now that you've traveled a fair distance,
it's more audible.
Exactly that.
Kaelin, Ulrich, a moment, if you please. The crystals seem to be making some sort of vibration, some sort of humming.
Yeah.
This is probably more of your expertise. I am one for the sky, not for the ground, so I do not know.
Well, rumor has it that these crystals you see have like deep arcane properties. They hold some innate magic within them. So, in fact, if these are one and the same crystals, and they are in fact aether crystals, then they've been known to be harnessed to power airships and things like that, and other wild machinery.
Are they would they be in the wall enough to pull out, or are they like huge embedded?
There's the very different sizes, but you know through your work in the Blackfall Quarry that they are not easily prized from the wall. It takes fair amount of time, energy, and effort with pickaxes and what have you to even get them out.
Right. Okay. Well,
pulling the small shard out from sort of just his belt from when he took it from the guy, he's just going to sort of hold it and like put it towards the vein to see if the small shard reacts with the vein in the wall? If anything
No, it
happens,
doesn't.
like if there's any.
No, there doesn't seem to be any reaction. You just have, and when we say a fragment, we're talking yay big, like tiny little fragment of this aether shard crystal. Aether crystal, aether shard, bloody hell. Aether crystal. But it doesn't hold any. It still kind of shines and gives the same sort of glow, but it isn't as prominent as the bigger crystals in the wall.
Okay.
You guys. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, yeah, Carol.
No.
No, it's just sort of holding it to and then pulling it back. Why do you, why would they be holding these? Is it payments? Do you just take them? I feel
Well-
like they shouldn't have this.
No, I don't think they should either. Remember what happened to that guy 3 days ago? When he was whipped in the square for nigh on an hour? Well, that's because he tried to pocket one of these fragments. They
So
are worth,
are-
worth a pretty penny to the right buyer.
Did Nim overhear this conversation?
What's your passive perception?
10.
I think you
So
with
probably
a 10,
not.
probably not. I think you're too invested in
Okay.
Brayden.
I think
But-
it's gold eventually.
You might not have picked up that conversation, Nim, but you do. These crystals do catch your eye. I mean, it's hard not to. They are all around you. And you've been around them for some time now whilst you've been in the quarry. They have piqued your interest somewhat. But you haven't picked up that conversation.
Yeah. Could I, like, as they are talking about these kind of crystals, and I'm just see every crystal around, I'm just going to pull out my crystal shard and just, could I like overhear that they're like really expensive, and he would just not put it in his pocket, but somewhere more, hidden when someone like tried to pickpocket him or anything that way, so he would hide it in his boot actually.
Yeah, so you would overhear the Kaelin said that they are worth a pretty penny to the right buyer. So yeah, absolutely. You slip your aether crystal fragment in your boot.
Absolutely. And
Will
then
will I notice him doing that? By the way,
What's your passive perception?
13.
I don't. Are you trying to do it sneakily, Octavius?
yeah, because I don't think I told anyone that I have that shot yet.
Okay, make me a sleight of hand check, please.
Dirty 20.
I don't think you would have done. Correct. No, you wouldn't have seen him slip the fragment in his boot, fortunately. But you do notice that as Geralt, Ulrich, and Kaelin are discussing these crystals, you notice in particular, as they are stood closer towards them, their voices carrying, you do see that the crystals themselves within the cluster near them are glowing a little bit brighter, only fractionally, but seem to be glowing a little bit brighter than all the other crystals in the area, as if something is happening. You can't quite put your finger on what, but it's some sort of thing happening when they're near.
That's concerning.
Having noticed the crystals, Nim would like to, or would most likely be like tracing the patterns on the wall with her fingertips as she goes past.
Okay, absolutely. It's strangely familiar to you, Nim. You start tracing patterns, like even just holding your finger in the air and following the vein. And in that moment, it brings you back to your childhood, only brief, of clear night skies when to lie on the grass verge close by to where you live, looking up at the stars and seeing the faint magical ley lines that stretch across the skies, and you remembering those evenings of trying to trace those with your finger, and that moment catches you for a moment only before you kind of and that memory and thought of home just kind of grounds you in this moment, grounds you in what you've just done and what you're about to venture into.
She thinks of home. The blossoms on her antlers begin to really open up, and almost they almost have like a breath of life back into them where they have been wilting down here below for so long. As she's tracing her fingers along the walls of the cavern, she just murmurs to herself, ley lines in constellations in night sky. Beautiful.
You all continue your journey through these cavernous tunnels. The tunnels themselves are narrow. They wind, the path uneven, but, you know, easily enough navigated. Though an ominous, almost stillness permeates the air. It's almost too calm, too quiet. For some of you, this might be unsettling. For others, a welcome respite from the weeks of hard labor and noise that you've been used to. You continue on until the narrow tunnel that you're all walking down suddenly opens into a cavern of breathtaking beauty. Massive clusters of crystals sprout from the walls, the floor and ceiling, their colors ranging from deep blue to brilliant violet, their facets refracting light in mesmerizing patterns all around you. Some of these crystals hum faintly, while others emit a soft ethereal glow, casting the chamber in a kaleidoscope of hues. Water drips from stalactite above, cooling into shallow basins at your feet. The sound of drip, 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 echoing faintly in the vast space around you. The air feels charged here, thick with a strange energy, as if the very stones around you pulse with life. This is truly a sight to behold. And for a moment, just a moment, the toil and torment that you have each suffered over the past weeks seems to wash away only slightly, but it's beautiful. Kaelin turns to you all and goes, well, this looks as good a place as any to take a moment. I'll look around, see if there's anything that we can use to light a fire, or not that we need it. It seems pretty warm enough in here, I suppose. But let's take a moment to rest before we push on. And he begins to walk around the cavern.
Just stay within eye line, please, Kaelin. We don't want to be losing anyone down here.
Your eye line or our eye line? As I look up at oh, the way are you up there?
All of our eye lines are... I keep going Russian because you're all Russian.
So, you all take a moment. You settle down in one of the spaces within this cavern. Kaelin only takes a walk for a few minutes before coming and sitting with kind of my back. So, we did it. Thank you, all of you. You don't know what this means to me. There's no words, really.
I don't think there needs to be many words. You have given us as equal an opportunity as we have given you.
Well, I appreciate you, all of you. See, I need to get home. I need to get back to my wife and my daughter. And it's been too long. It really has been too long.
We'll see it is so.
Where is home for you, friend?
Yeah, North Farron. West of here, though.
Once we get
Once we get
Hang on, every word.
Right, so I know Dan very well. He will be flipping out at this stage. Keyboards will be thrown, like he'll be going mad. Well, that's, yeah, that's my reason for getting out of there. What are yours?
Yerril will, while everyone is talking, just slowly shuffle back a few feet and just take her amulet from around her neck and just hold it in her hand, and just be quiet off to the side on her own.
Well, any of you? Or did you just seize an opportunity?
I mean, my reasons are similar to yours, really. I want to get back to my family. But also, I saw what they were doing back there. And the only way I can think of that we'll be able to stop them is to get out.
Yeah, well, they need stopping, but what are 7 of us gonna do, really? Believe me when I say I subscribe to that entirely.
Well, I understand where you're coming from with that, but I just worry. I worry about my family. I worry about my wife. I worry about my son, and I worry about the things that those people are crafting.
As far as I know, their operation is just one of a larger goal.
Yeah.
That mine belongs to the Iron Shade Consortium, and they've got mines everywhere.
Yeah, but this one's on my doorstep.
Well, as good a reason as any. What about the rest of you?
I don't know. I'm just here. I did have a thought though. You said that there's only 7 of us, and she like counts again. Yeah, 7 of us. But what if we take the money, the big shiny money, and we pay people to come help us that they have in the place?
Sorry, what money?
In the Dragonborn in his office, we can get the money and get people to come help us. Maybe. Probably.
There's money in his office. Well, that doesn't surprise me, but I can't imagine it being a lot.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. I got in trouble one day, but I don't remember why I got in trouble, but I did. And then I told I had to go speak to him in his office. So I went. He's not a real dragonborn, by the way. I'm a real dragon. Okay? See these freckles? these are dragon skills. These are dragon skills. And he said he doesn't deserve to be called a dragonborn. He's not a dragonborn, but behind him there was lots of shiny stuff. And I think we could pay people to come help us, because all the people like shiny things, right? Right?
Right. As he kind of looks to the rest of you.
I
You just
definitely like
shrug,
shiny
like-
things.
Well, we have to get out of this place first before we even think about going back. But what about the rest of you? What are you going to do when we get out of here?
You know, meet a friend, bother some family. All the good stuff. Always. Always the good ones. And he, like, very much lays down. But for some reason, he still doesn't, like, put his hands on the dirty ground. He just puts it on his stomach most of the time.
Well, fair enough. Let's, just gonna rest a little bit. You guys talk amongst yourselves. We'll, maybe an hour, and then we'll get moving. We can't take long, though. It's not safe.
I don't know about you, but me, I just really need some fresh air.
I too crave the air. It's too muggy down here. That is the right word.
I've never breathed in such gravelly air before. It's it does not suit me.
It does not suit the Constitution well. It is best to be amongst the skies, the clouds, feeling the air guide you to where you need to go best.
Nim's face just melts as she gazes into you. Eyes. You know of the skies.
Of course. And she'll again just slightly extend her wings. I fly. I experience the air and all her mysteries every single day.
Can you see glass?
She's just going to sort of turn her aside and just deflate the wings slightly. I'm sorry, my friend. Did you say, can I see glass?
Yeah, like, can birds see glass? I had a small rumor that they can't see glass, and that's the reason they bash into
point.
windows.
I mean, I had a cousin who used to, accidentally fly into one. But to be fair, the man who kept it very clean. So it was really difficult to
So
not see.
runs
So-
in the family, doesn't it?
Well, I haven't done it yet. So, it's a cousin is a cousin, knows how to fly. But, I'm sure my time will come. It comes of all of us.
DM note, big boss equals pane of glass.
Yeah. Arakocra cleric defeated by
Glass.
greenhouse.
Yeah.
What do you mean by glass?
Just glass, just pretty window glass, files and such.
Well,
Sky shard. You mean sky shard? I see.
the height at which I choose to fly is above where the abodes are of those who wish to stay firmly on the ground. I intend to go higher and higher to the heavens, to touch the stars myself.
Oh my
So-
god, you're so cool.
I have no intention of being hit by glass just yet. And if I do, I'm not flying high enough.
Ah, right. Yep. All right, no need to ruffle your feathers.
Just gonna
I-
slightly just.
I have word for those types of people. We call them gravel hearts. Those who stay weighted to the ground.
Well, it is their chosen path. We choose to live in the skies, some choose the land, some choose the waters, and underneath the earth. It is where they feel home. It's where they feel safe. It's
Yes,
where-
but some people choose wrong.
Well,
I think I used to know a family called Gravelheart.
oh, well, there we go. Must
Really?
be some relation.
Yeah. Well, personally, I'm quite accustomed to the air within the caves. But the air in these caves tends to taste like death, which doesn't sit quite that well with me, to be honest.
Do you taste that now?
No.
Okay.
I think we've got far enough away. I'm not going to forget about that place.
I don't think any of us will, ever.
I really hope I will. I don't know about you. I do not want to dream about that place anymore.
As this conversation continues for just over an hour, you all gain the benefits of a short rest. If you'd like to roll hit points, can. We are using the resting rule, so this is not a hospitable environment. So you will receive 50% of your hit point total back only. So if you want to roll your hit points, just half your total hit points to get that.
Under these circumstances, will Nim still receive a pact point or not?
Do you get it on a short rest?
Yes, but
Then you-
I didn't know about the terms of the
No,
harsh environment.
You still get all your, so any short rest abilities or anything you get as part of your short rest, you gain those. It's just the hit point. So for those of you at home that are wondering what I'm talking about, we run different long rest and short rest rules. We have environmental healing modifier. What that means is based on the adventurer's environment, it is going to dictate how much of their hit points they get back on a short or a long rest. This can range from a really unrestful environment, such as the edge of a volcano, to a hospitable environment, such as a tavern or an inn or whatever. So it ranges. So this is a hostile environment. I've deemed it such because it is you're obviously in the caves. There isn't a lot around you. It's uncomfortable, but you have also got the existential terror of what might be following you through these caves. So 50% only. At the end of your short rest, Kaelin kind of go, oh, right. Well, as much as it's been wonderful getting to know all of you, I think we need to press on. We've got some way to go.
What is it, Kaelin?
I'd like Corrick, and I'd like Ulrich to make me a perception check, please.
Would I be near enough both of them to cast both of them with guidance?
Yeah. I'll allow it.
Guidance on you both.
What do we get? What do we get with guidance?
Extra D4.
D4. That's probably going to be quite nice.
Please tell me you just like sneeze on them and that's how you cast guidance.
Just do like a bird feeding, just like and then just project the guidance on them.
12.
Oh God. 12. Ulrich.
22 with guidance.
22 with guidance. As Kaelin turns his head, you see a faint movement.
Everything.
Both of you see a faint movement in the shadows around one of the crystal clusters. You see Kaelin reach down and pick his pickaxe up. Ah! Tune in next week for more of this. He picks his pickaxe up. Fuck you, and stands up. Pickaxe up. And turns and in a low and calm but authoritative voice goes, "Get ready. We're not alone." As you all reach for your weapons and ready yourselves, from the shadows behind one of the larger crystal formations, a sleek sinewy creature lunges forward. Its dark, carapace-like hide seems to absorb all light around it. Its claws gleam like obsidian. With a guttural hiss, it lashes out with terrifying speed, its eyes glinting with a malevolent intelligence. The cavern erupts in chaos as two of these creatures dart between the crystal formations, their movements swift and unnervingly silent, their claws scraping against the stones as they leap, sending shards of crystals clattering across the floor. And that is where we're going to
Oh, come on.
the session for this evening. We will pick this up on Sunday. Well, guys, we got there. Session 1 in the bag, baby. Session 1
Wonderful.
in the bag. Amazing. So before we wrap the session up, you all will level up between now and next session. So between now and next session, you can level up. And if you guys at home are like, I don't want to wait till Sunday, then maybe we might release the updated stats on Instagram. And you know what else is on Instagram? A really cool social media giveaway that's happening right now. You should check that out. So don't go anywhere. We will be raiding another channel at the end of our stream. Luke, do we have an idea of who that might be?
Yep. So there's another stream currently streaming some Dungeons and Dragons called Roll Together RPG.
Hell yes. So, before we wrap up for tonight's session, remember, thank you. Remember, obviously, be good, be kind, be nice to everybody you meet, because you don't know when that's going to come back to you. We will be back on Sunday at 7 p.m., our normal streaming time, so don't forget to set an alarm for next Sunday. The VOD of this session will be out not this week that we're in now, but the following week. We will release that in 2 sessions, so you'll see 2 episodes. The first half and second half of tonight's session will be released on Tuesday and Friday on YouTube. So if you haven't already, head over to YouTube, press subscribe, notification bell, and you'll be alerted when any new content gets uploaded. Thank you, everybody, from everyone here at Dice by the Sword. You guys have been wonderful. And thank you very much for persevering with us through all of our technical shit. We love you guys. We will see you all on Sunday. Take care. Good night.
Bye.
See you all
Bye.
Sunday.